Hi YouTube. So this is going to be my pregnancy journey story on how I came to conceive and up until now, at the point of this pregnancy, which for me is the end. Um, well, mentally wise, it's the end of this pregnancy for me. Um, so pretty much this is just going to be a story, me putting it all out on the table. I did get a few emails, people asking me, because I mentioned in a couple of my videos that I've only been here for a year, and so people were like, you're pregnant? How'd that happen? Like, uh, I don't remember the girl's name who sent me the email. It was only one, and it was about 4 months ago, and I was kind of indecisive on if I should just make the video or just leave the topic alone. But I'm going to do it. Um, so, like I always say, I'm originally from Seattle, Washington. I moved to California in April of 2012, and I moved out here just for a change, for me to get my life together, to start over, I guess you could say. Um, but other things happened. I wasn't doing too much. I mean, like, as far as like going out and kicking it, I either hung out with like my mom, because I don't have any friends out here. My mom, or pretty much my mom. That's it. I met Carrie on my birthday. Um, it was July 12th, 2012. We started dating. um, we started dating July 20th. Um, and just from that point, we just always like stuck by each other. Even though it's only almost been a year, we just clicked very well. And yeah. So I when I met him, now this is a little, I don't know what you want to call it. Um, I don't know if it's inappropriate or whatever. This is a pregnancy story, so hey. Um, when I had met him, I was just getting off of my cycle. So I think I ended my cycle the day before. Um, we did use protection through the first point of our relationship. Um, and I had one complete cycle while we were together. After that, um, I I started having in late August. I started having like pains in my sides, which I thought was kidney stones, um, or something. It was just like really sharp pains that I could not tolerate. I was crying. We got up the next day and went to the emergency room at Kaiser, and they asked me, do you think you could be pregnant, anything like that, and we're both like, no, like, not even thinking of it, because I didn't think I could conceive when I was 16. I did make a choice to abort a child. If I felt like it was something I wasn't ready for. I do regret that decision, because just looking back on it now, it was a decision that was made so quickly. I didn't have time to even think about it, to really get a feel for it. It just, I'm 16, I'm not ready. You know, the dad wasn't ready, and so I made the choice to do what I do. I am not for abortion. It was just, wasn't me thinking clearly, but I can say that I have done it, and I'm not proud of it, but it was a chapter in my life where I wasn't ready. So I didn't think I could get pregnant. I had been with people in the past, other relationships, and did not. So we're like, no, nah, I'm not pregnant. So you know, when you go to the emergency rooms and they want to do X-rays or anything, they have to give you a pregnancy test. So we took the pregnancy test, and it came back negative. And I'm like, see, I told you, like, I'm not pregnant. And yeah, and then the doctor was like, you know what, you're probably just going to start your cycle. I see a little bit of, he checked me down there. I see a little bit of bleeding. Everything's going to be fine. And we're like, okay, cool. He's like, go home. So we went home, and I'm waiting, and I'm like, okay, it's been like 3 days now, no period. I'm still having these pains. I want to go back to the emergency room. We go back to the emergency room, and they're like, okay, well, we have to do another pregnancy test just in case. We're like, we're just here. We just did a pregnancy test. I'm not pregnant. So they give me another pregnancy test, and then we're sitting there, we're waiting, and we're joking. And they come back, and they're like, okay, well, your pregnancy test came back positive. And we're like, what? Like, no. We were just here 3 days ago. No, I'm not pregnant. No. And I was just like laying there, and I just like remember pulling the cover over my head, and then they left. The doctor and the nurse left, and Carrie came up to me, and he's like, baby, you're pregnant. And I'm like, no. In my mind, I'm just thinking, no. Like, there's no way. No. What? I just got to California. I'm trying to, like, see what it's about. I'm 22 years old. Well, 23 years old. I'm not pregnant. I was pregnant. So, they, took me into the other room and gave me a vaginal ultrasound. And I was about, she said I was very early. So I think she said I was about 6 weeks pregnant. And yeah, gave us a paper and told me to be careful, and sent us on our way. So like that was like late. Was it? No, it was like maybe early September actually that we found out. Yeah, it was more so early September when we found out I was pregnant when I went to the hospital. So about late September, we had went to this place called Events to watch the 49ers game with me, him, his dad, and his friend. And I had felt fine the whole time. Nothing felt wrong. Nothing felt different. Like nothing. I had some fries and a ginger ale that day, and that was all. But it was really hot. It was maybe about 100 degrees. So we walked there because it wasn't far. We walked there, and then we walked back home. By the time I got home, I had went to use the bathroom, and I had like bleeding in my underpants. I told him about it. He didn't seem too concerned. The doctor had told him that I could have a little vaginal bleeding. It's nothing serious. If it falls for cramping, then, yeah. So, he had told me to, lay down, relax. I had called my sister. I had told her what was going on. And he had went to his friend's birthday party. In his mind, I was fine. And he strongly believed everything was okay. The next day, he came home, I think, and then actually, I think he stayed at his friend's house. The next morning, I was bleeding more. Actually, I'm sorry. No, he came home. Okay, sorry. Messed up. After I was bleeding, he told me to lay down, take a nap or whatever. I said I'm okay. He said if by the time I woke up, if I was still bleeding, he would have his mom take me to the emergency room. So I woke up and I was still bleeding, and so he called his mom and she took me to the emergency room at Kaiser, where I had initially found out I was pregnant at. They gave me a vaginal ultrasound, and the blood after she put the utensil for the vaginal ultrasound up there, I started bleeding more. So I got kind of concerned with that, and I asked her, I said, what's wrong? Can you, she's like, oh, well, we can't tell you exactly what's going on. The doctor will have to tell you, and basically that's it. So they put me back in my room, and they gave me just a sheet. Like, they were like, we don't see anything wrong, but they gave me a sheet for early miscarriage signs, basically. And I'm thinking, what, the doctor said everything is okay. I'm just bleeding and nothing's wrong. So Carrie came home that night, and everything was fine. We woke up that morning and I was bleeding more. My OBG was only down the street, so he's like, come on, it's 9 or 8, let's get up, let's go, let's walk down to your doctor. We got there, and I was just like severely cramping, like bad. Like, it kept feeling like I wanted to push, even though I was only 7 weeks, or maybe, yeah, about 7 weeks. I felt like I had the urge to push. And the whole time I was sitting in the waiting room of the clinic of where my OBG works for about 30 minutes waiting, and I'm sitting there like in excruciating pain. I'm like, where is he? Like, I need to see the doctor, like, right now. Like, where is he? And finally he calls me back and puts me on a thing, puts the stirrups up, and says to me, Miss Coleman, I am sorry, but you are having a miscarriage. At that point, I just didn't know what to think. I was like, maybe it's because when I was 16 and I did what I did, maybe my uterus can't hold a baby. Maybe, I put a whole bunch of guilt and blame on myself. And at that point, I completely shut down. I immediately, it was to the point where when he put me up there, the baby was pretty much already about to come out. Yeah. After, it just kind of felt like, wow, like I went from being pregnant to not being pregnant in seconds. Like, it happened that fast. Like, I don't believe it. Like, give me another pregnancy test, because I don't believe it. I called my sister, called my mom, and talked to them, and I went home. I laid in the bed. I think Carrie had fixed me something to eat and brought me something to drink, and he just gave me my space because he knew at that point I just didn't even want to be talked to. I took a shower and I couldn't help but cry. It was devastating. So after that, we just kind of went on about our daily lives. I tried to push it to the back of my head as far as I could because I didn't even want to think about it. I just wanted to go back to the life I had before I got pregnant, so it wouldn't hurt so bad. So I think I bled for all of maybe 5 days. Maybe for all of 5 days. And I had remembered, well, maybe more than that. Maybe, I don't even remember how long I bled for. I had just remember the doctor telling me that your period will come back. Once it comes back, then you can try again. I don't even remember having a period. I just remember bleeding from losing the baby. So I kept saying, well, Carrie, the doctor said my period would be back. And it's not back. And I don't know what's going on. And I'm thinking in my mind, there's no way possible I can be pregnant again that fast. So I was like, I'm going to just go down to my clinic. The pregnancy tests are free, so I don't have to go pay for them. I'm going to just go and I'll let you know what happens. So I go down to the clinic and I'm waiting. And they call me back there and they're like, your pregnancy test is positive. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no. Like, no. Like, it can't happen that fast. No. Like, they tell you you're more fertile afterwards, but no. Like, no. Don't think so. And so they gave me the paper and I call him immediately and I'm like, baby. And he's like, what's up? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pregnant. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. And so when I found out I was pregnant, I had already made it past I was 7 weeks. So, or I think I was 7 weeks. So I was like 7 weeks and like 5 or 6 days. So I had made it past the point of when I lost the first baby. And in my mind, once you lose a baby and, you always think in your mind, like, is this one going to be able to survive? And I always, like, every time I went to the bathroom, I always checked my underwear. I always thought, I'm going to lose it. Because it's just not, it's not meant for me. But obviously it was. She was conceived on October 20th. So we lost our first baby September 24th. So she was conceived almost about a month after I had lost the first baby. So for women, if you're, if you are discouraged to not try after a loss, I completely understand. But then again, me and him were not even trying. We just were doing it. We just being humans, just natural sexual attraction to each other. Yeah, so we found out October 20th. We found out she was conceived on October 20th. And it was just amazing because none of these pregnancies, these two, the first one and this one, were not planned. We did not plan them at all. We did not plan. We did not all the way prevent either. So I don't know. So up until this point, everything has been great. She has been healthy. She has been active. She has been such a blessing to have, and to be able to overcome a situation like that, and now almost in less than a month to have a baby that you thought that you were never going to meet or never going to see, is the most amazing feeling in the world. And I could not be more grateful and thankful for this experience. So I guess, I don't know, for women out there who are trying to conceive, my best advice is to just go with the flow. Don't try to alter what nature has intended, in my words, I guess. Because you never know. You never know. You never know if maybe right now it's just not your time, or you never know if, everything that you're doing to try to alter and control your body to actually get what you want is what's preventing you from that. Because I was only with him. At that time we were only together for, which sounds bad, for 3 months, but I got pregnant twice, and I am happy, and we're still together, and we're a family, and you have your bumps in the roads, but if it's something that you want, then you will overcome anything. Nothing is too big or too small if that's what your heart wants, and what your heart desires, and what you feel is right in your heart and in your mind. So that is just my little pregnancy story, pregnancy journey spiel on how I came to conceive. And yeah, if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to leave them at the bottom. If you have anything negative to say about anything that I said in this video, please keep it to yourself. I'm not trying to be rude, but I really care less to hear it, really care less to read it. So yes, but any other comments that are positive or questions that are positive, feel free to ask me. And yeah, I will see you guys in my 36-week pregnancy vlog. Bye.